We're going on a road trip with a difference. We're going to try and tackle as many iconic Top Gear locations as possible. But there's one essential thing you need for a road trip.
Ah!
Oh my God!
You're a crap driver.
Hello, Ben. Top Gear changed all of our lives. So Ben and I have decided to pilgrimage to some of the most iconic locations from the heyday of the trio. 2 days, 8 locations, a 700 horsepower pickup truck, and plenty of nostalgia. This road trip is sponsored by AG1. I never thought I'd be into a wellness supplement drink, but this stuff has improved my morning routine and has been spot on to replenish nutrients and keep my energy levels up during a shoot. AG1 is a comprehensive blend of over 70 high-quality ingredients and is a great way to feel reassured that you're supporting your body and the broad range of nutrients it needs. I have always struggled to keep up with my vitamins and supplements in order to support a healthy lifestyle. It can also be really expensive too. It's really easy when out filming to eat and drink all the crap you can get at service stations. But this stuff is simply 1 scoop or travel pack mixed with water once a day, and it makes it easy and convenient to be that bit healthier. It can keep you focused when your energy starts to take a dip and keep your immune health supported. It has the highest quality ingredients, strictest manufacturing standards, and exhaustive testing makes sure that AG1 is exactly what you see on the label. Go to drinkag1.com/DriveTribe to get started on your order. AG1 is giving away a free 1-year supply of AG vitamin D3 plus K2 and 5 AG1 travel packs with your first purchase. Thank you to AG1 for sponsoring this road trip. This is our first location and we've picked something local. Somerset Churchyard. You wouldn't think of it as a Top Gear location, would you? Some little tiddlywink churchyard.
This is random. I know they were filming in Bristol, but this is the middle of nowhere.
Well, I'd say this is actually a Top Gear icon in itself. It's the Hilux tree.
Really?
So Jeremy drove actually quite quickly into this tree. You watch it back, I don't remember that he stoved in that pickup truck quite badly on this tree.
Well, you've got to watch it with trees, because even at low speed, they're so well planted, they don't give. And actually, it's way more significant than hitting another car, because there's 0 give. Yeah, but it looks to me like, on camera, it looks about 15 miles an hour.
Yeah, and the bonnet and front right wing just completely cave in.
Yeah, there's no way that's him.
But apparently, I've seen on the internet, apparently there's damage from where he hit. He definitely hit from this side. I don't know whether you can see it round there.
There.
You think that's it?
Well, it could be. It's about the right height, isn't it?
So apparently the BBC didn't ask for permission to come to this churchyard and do this. They found out later and they donated £250 to the parish church to do whatever they wanted.
As they should.
As an apology.
For, you know, bruising a tree.
But why did they end up here? This is such a random location to do this.
I know, and there's not actually much run-up. There's a spring over there that gets in the way.
Yeah, that's a bit aggressive.
Yeah, it's quite, I have no idea. I mean, so I wasn't on this shoot, so I wasn't on all of them. That's, I think, my first series on Top Gear.
2003.
Yeah.
That was your first series, was it?
But it's quite funny watching that, because at the beginning he gives that big disclaimer, no stuntmen were used in this.
Yes.
And of course, you can't see who's driving. I just don't believe Jeremy drove into this.
Why? Too aggressive?
Hitting a tree with a car is physically extremely painful. And that's not to say he didn't do stuff that was painful.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I broke the rewind on my machine watching him with the truck hitting that brick wall.
That was big.
Bless him, because it was hysterical. But, I mean, it looked like it literally took his chest out.
Oh, yeah, he grabbed his neck as well.
His neck, his chest, it was all going off, and the cab was rocking back. They thought it would be better to use freshly cemented bricks, but actually it kept all the moisture in it, so it actually made it more heavy.
Oh, wow.
And I think actually if it dried out, it would have broken apart more easily. But I don't
think so. He did this one?
No, I think he just skipped that one.
Well, thankfully, I mean, it's it's over 20 years since this happened. So thankfully, it seems to have repaired. There's just a little bit of bark.
I better check with him though, otherwise I might get an angry letter from the big man.
Well, for some reason, I still feel bad on the church's behalf. I feel we need to make a donation ourselves.
Yeah.
You got any cash?
Cash?
Yeah.
No. Not cash.
Okay. Well, I've got a little additional activity for this road trip. We've printed out stills from Top Gear, and I want to match up some of the shots. So we've got a massive pickup truck. We've got a tree. We've not got Jeremy Clarkson. D-list.
crash into the tree again?
We're not going to crash it. I mean, 700 horsepower. I think you say these things are sturdy.
Yeah.
That thing would just mow straight over it.
I still think the tree would win.
Let's get our picture and kick off this road trip.
All right, let's do it. It's going to be fun.
We're on to our next location. We've got it plumbed in. If I were to tell you, Top Gear iconic location, Basingstoke.
Yes.
Does anything come to mind?
Oh, absolutely, of course, yeah. That was we took over the Mall for 2 nights and just went berserk filming the Corvette and Ford Focus.
Yes.
Fiesta. That was it.
So yes, we're on the way to that shopping mall, which still exists. Now, I would have loved to have done this road trip over a week, gone to every single UK Top Gear location, but Managing Director of DRIVETRIBE, Dave, has said we have to do it in 2.
Absolutely no chance. You're having a laugh. I'll give you 2 days, 2 days max.
So we've got 8 locations. We'll do 4 today, 4 tomorrow. Yeah, it should still be fun.
Awesome, yeah, definitely. And you would never have thought that was a Top Gear location.
Yeah, but that was crazy.
But actually, when you're there, you realise why they chose it. Because it's ring-fenced, so it's safe. So someone was sent out, go and find a tree we can drive into in an area we can control. And that basically was it, wasn't it?
Turning up to our shopping centre with a full camera crew will generally have security asking questions, so Ben and I left the big cameras in the car park and took to our phones. Apologies for Ben's tragic dad cam filming effort. Why he's filming at 45 degrees? I don't know.
Okay, Ben.
What?
Welcome back.
Yeah.
To Festival Place Shopping Centre in Basingstoke. How does it feel?
It's awesome. I loved it. I mean, this is one of the best shoots we ever did on Top Gear, and it was one of the best nights of my life. You know, for just antics and actually just getting full on into it with Top Gear, because we were in an unknown space, and it was going to get into the sort of stunt realm, which I was starting to get into with the movie side. So it was really cool to have those two things converge.
My first question is, how much time did you get to recce this as a place? Because like you've got a hell of a lot of obstacles to get past. Did you just come in on the night and suss it out, or did you have time?
Basically, what we just did now. So we walked around, had a little look, and then we went at it.
Absolutely crazy. And was your choice the Corvette, or were you just given that?
I was bad guy. So Jeremy was in the Fiesta, and the film was meant to be a review of the Fiesta.
Yes.
And the cool thing is, you look down here. This area, this basically became the start line, and you're in this. You got this beautiful marble floor, which just lit that up off the start line and left 2 thumping great black lines.
Yeah.
But actually, I think we did about 2 or 3 takes of that. I'm told that basically they couldn't get it off the floor, so I think they had to remove the floor or get a special team in to clean it.
So this might be fresh marble, some of this then.
Yeah, so we were slightly wasteful, but it was a lot of fun.
I do remember that pillar over there.
So you've got a nice bit of space here, so this is quite good. So we had a bit of separation. Basically, the Fiesta peeled left, so that was Jeremy's route. I went down into the BHS. And obviously the Corvette's got a handbrake, rear-wheel drive, so it should have been relatively straightforward to go in, rip the bar up, and spin it round, which is what I went to do. And I ended up like a complete numpty, because there was a linoleum floor that bonded with the rubber so well it basically wouldn't break traction, so the car just wouldn't yaw at all. So
I did a 10-point turn.
So, I did a full-on Austin Powers, looked like the worst driver in the world, had to back in, and they were very keen that I hit the mannequin. So this lady's just, just still repairing the mannequin.
This is a reunion, a 10-point turn reunion.
It's a reunion. There we go. Look, there's the mannequin looks nervous actually, not surprisingly, but yeah, and you can see they've completely redone the floor.
Yes. That would have been perfect, right? You'd have been right round on that.
Yeah, on the tiled surface, this would be ideal because it's quite slippery. So you get not too much traction. That would have whipped around well, and obviously without the security features that are kind of blocking us. But yeah, no, that would have been an ideal surface. But I didn't know. I was quite excited by this space because it was really open. We got rid of the benches, and I think there's a bit of the scene where we clear through some of these tables.
Yes, I think Jeremy does say you've just wiped out Costa Coffee.
Mine's not there because they've already bought it and then they checked out.
We're up on the rooftop, and I remember a lot of nice handbrake turning being done by Jeremy, but was that him?
Yeah, there was a mix. So there was Jeremy, myself, and Mark Higgins, sort of taking turns at driving.
Okay.
This was good because there's lots of space and the surface is completely grippy. So you could do stuff and the car would react very quickly and then stop and then go. So for the Corvette, it was good. A bit of slaloming action, a few near misses. There's some nice little obstacles you can sort of fire out. You could hide and pop out and jump into the camera lens. So that was good. And but this was getting towards the end of the night. It's sort of 3 a.m. This is the sort of witching hour. And you're trying to stay focused with everything. But we managed to get it with these little lights popping out, a bit of illume, but not everything. So there are quite a few shadows. And I'm pretty sure it was at one of these doors, if not that one. It was right at the end. So we'd done all the master shots, all the near misses, handbrakes and everything. And I was just doing one big loop. And to the last minute, sort of saw this post that was masquerading, sort of blended like that one is, camouflage with the matching paint.
Yes.
Just a single post at its end, and just caught it out of the corner of my eye. It was a bit dopey, but just managed to screech to a stop. And that was the last shot.
That could have been the end of the Corvette.
It could have been.
Okay, well, we're about to move to our next location, which again is a kind of Stig legendary piece of video. It's not too far away.
Brilliant.
Let's go.
Cool, loving it.
This isn't a bad setting, is it?
That's awesome. Yeah.
You didn't take part in this bit, but an old airship hangar.
Yeah, I mean, I walked straight past this. I think I was quite focused because this is where we had sort of created our own little racetrack.
Yes.
And apart from this structure, the blimps, everything else looks completely unfamiliar. It's all changed, been completely developed.
Well, if I look at my picture, it would be Porsche, Maserati, Aston.
Yeah.
Out of the 3, which one did you like?
I really was taken by the Maserati. I think it's the most underrated car brand, and it was lovely. I think from memory, I think it had flappy paddles.
Yep.
I hope I got that right. Really comfortable driving position. Looks amazing from the outside. Had a great raspy engine tone. It's always hard to tell what's fastest. The Porsche was super stiff. Maserati less so, but it was the most fun to drive.
But what I love is we've parked up here and someone is keeping the Top Gear spirit alive. It's not a Quattroporte, but there's a Ghibli over there.
Yeah.
So 4-door Maserati, still going strong at Farnborough Business Park.
They're mega.
Shall we go check out some roundabouts?
Let's do it. Which way is it? Another hotspot.
Yeah, to me, this was the sketchiest bit because I think you drift around here, and I mean, this curb is not to be messed with,
No.
especially in low-profile tyres. You wouldn't want to clip that, and especially something like an Aston.
No, that's a showstopper. But actually, this was the most controlled element. This was the best section for visibility and safety. But actually, on the other side, there was basically it was residential. And it was the first time with my Top Gear days where I actually said, look, I'm not going.
Too
'Cause I
sketchy.
It was too, at the time we were ready to go, there was this huge rush, and you could see they'd posted everybody, like put flyers through people's doors, but there were still people moving around. I could see cars moving, so we stopped. There was a few tense moments because Jeremy was keen to get on, everybody was waiting to go. We were going to run out of light and all the usual stuff.
They're just saying, Ben, go for it, go for it.
Yeah, go. Get on with it, go. So now I can still see things moving. So basically waiting, the start line was on the far side of the estate basically. So once we got everything sort of sorted and we got our people out, production team had that bit of breathing space, then we lit it up. And then, then it was showtime, which was great. And it was amazing because, you get to block off all these streets.
Lovely Rover 25 just going past there.
They're
It's a
awful.
200.
Why do you get excited about these things? Of
Lovely.
all the stuff that's come past, there's a van that went past that's got more sex appeal than that Rover.
So Porsche was quickest, but the Maserati was for you.
Yes. Yeah. The Porsche, even though it was stiffer and shored up, it just felt heavier.
Yeah.
The Maserati felt way more playful, and actually you could, the tail, you could flick around a bit.
Sounded amazing.
Sounds amazing, more sporty, and looks great. It's a great looking car.
Okay, well, we've got one more stop before the end of the day and before we lose light. It is, it's your home, really, your old home. So, yeah, we've only got about an hour and a bit to go. Let's
right.
get there. And
If that's the case, I better drive, because...
do you well up, tear up when you come back to this track?
No, I don't cry at racetracks. So it's great to be back. But
Is it the most, it's probably not the most famous track in the world. It's getting there, though. For an airfield track, it's right up there.
I've just called it a racetrack, which elevates it to something it's not. I mean, it's an airfield, and I've raced on airfields. And this one's pretty cool. I mean, it's flat as a billiard table. So actually, when you look at it from here, there's not much to see.
Okay, so what am I looking at here? That's last corner,
Yep.
Gambon. Start-finish line is a bit further back there.
Yeah, so, I mean, really, I never really hung around here. It's got the Porter cabin behind us, that's the HQ.
Yeah.
Down that way is the last corner. So normally, when we were watching the laps, I'd be down there where there's a fire station, or was a fire station, which has got a concrete apron like this one. And then we put a gate in because of David Williams. So we actually had to run for cover. When he came screeching through, a bit wide. Apparently at the time I was jogging backwards trying to tell him what to do with the steering, which it didn't really compute. So he skidded wide, had to grab the cameraman, and we had to jump onto the fence, and then we decided to put a door in. So that's down there.
Okay.
But it was a really good vantage point because you can see really what's going on. And the trickiest corner was not the final, it was the penultimate corner. So going into off the back straight, turning left, Gambon. People carry too much speed, go on the grass, spin around, and have lots of fun.
And your lap time was in the Suzuki?
I think, is it 1 minute 43 point something?
Okay, where did that put you in the
So I was
grand scheme of
fastest. So the first F1 driver that came here to do a time was Nigel Mansell. I think that's right. And he was fantastic. It's amazing to meet him, like absolute icon, hero of mine. And then he was uber focused on this really D-list rental car, and then he literally drove the wheels off it. It was sensational. And that ragged style, that sort of really high energy driving style, he brought that to the front wheel drive Suzuki. Set this amazing time. I was in awe. And then and the following week, with out of the blue, they said, right, go out and beat Nigel's time. And thought this is not going to be easy. Beat a world champion's lap time.
But you did it.
Just about did it. So yeah.
But then Barrichello came along?
Barrichello, yeah. So he came in after I'd left, and the track had been widened, so they've extended Gambon Corner, which means you get extra track, and that's more grip, and that gave him the advantage to give him the extra 3 or 4 tenths.
So the entry is wider, is it? Or
the
where's it being
exit.
widened?
So
the exit's wider.
you always slice the inside, but it was really the exit. You'd run wide onto the grass, and it would drop off the track. And so over time, it was digging the grass out. And I think with the airfield, they got fed up with that, so they filled it with some concrete, and that made the track wider.
Okay.
Made it faster.
Okay, so you're putting it down to that.
I'm just saying.
It's the only reason why Rubens was quicker.
He started rocking a T-shirt saying that he beat the Stig, but he didn't. So he should take that off now.
When you look at this bit of tarmac, what's the car that comes to mind? What's sitting on that start line?
For whatever reason, the Koenigsegg still rings a bell, just because it was the most animal to drive. It was their early car, the CCX, and it was kind of fresh out of their factory. They were a really small company. Christian von Koenigsegg, literally threw his fortune into setting this car company up with this incredible vision. And I remember there were a few companies like that at the time. Zonda was further along, they were further developed, they'd been at it longer, making these beautiful cars. And you look at what Koenigsegg has done and built over time, and then now these carbon, weave, they're absolutely beautiful detail. But that first machine, it was primal. It was a really powerful car, very high speed. And it was a serious piece of kit to drive. Big gear stack handle. It was a kind of Victorian controls, totally raw, and it was loose. It was sliding around like a mad thing, trying to control it. But it was really, really fun.
Well, I feel like that lap, it's one of those disasters, kind of like Hammond in the Rimac. It kind of elevates the company to a whole new level by something going that wrong. So I imagine Koenigsegg, no one knew about it until you stuffed it into that tyre wall.
I felt bad.
And Rimac as well,
I thought that was the end. I thought I was going to get fired. I came back in here totally dejected and walked up those steps, went straight in to go to Andy Willman and Clarkson was standing there. I said, I'm so sorry. I just expected that was it, to be sent packing, and they were really cool about it. And the great thing was that Koenigsegg returned with a wing on it. They'd lowered the car, done a few other tweaks that gave a bit more grip that helped it. So that car was memorable, but we had so many greats, all the manufacturers that came regularly, like Ferrari. You get to know them, you get to know the test drivers really well, their excitement level, their passion. And they would bring a team of 12 people. This place would just fill up with red shirts, Cool. When Schumacher was here, was really incredible. So, 2 Stigs walking around, and watching his rapport with the Ferrari team, it's like literally the love of a family. You could just see the way they engaged with him was so familiar, and you could see it made their day seeing him rip it around here.
Well, I don't want to scare security too much, but can we take a peek in your old Porter
Good luck.
cabin?
I hope you've had a tetanus jab.
It looks horrendous.
Oh, it's bad. Well, it's got worse over time.
Am I going to go through one of these steps?
Yeah, the recent Top Gear team have not looked after this. When they got the Ivy, maybe that's, I don't know, maybe it keeps the warmth in. I love it. You still got the tea urn, tea bags, lots of useless crap.
It's rotting.
It's rotting. Yeah, Christmas tree for some drag racing. Nice.
So you trying to tell me that Tom Cruise and Cameron Diaz were in there?
No, well, they did go in there, but they had their own sort of like, what are those things? Airstreams.
Airstreamers.
So they had some nice accommodation put in, but no, Tom was all over it. He was everywhere. Met everybody, was great. Spent loads of time with people, signing autographs, being a cool dude. But yeah, everybody ends up in there. There's a green room inside that porter cabin. It's, I don't know, marginally better than the other spaces, but not much. You got the Stig room at the end.
So did you, your day being the Stig, you'd pull in here, and would you be like balaclavaed up?
Yeah.
Just in case you got spotted?
Come in very early, and I'd sort of scope things out, see if it was fairly empty, and then, yeah, balaclava it. I'd balaclava up before I got to the security gate.
Oh,
so I'd come in fully sort of scoped out. But if I thought someone was suspicious was here, I would keep driving in case I ran the plate. Go and park the car somewhere
it's
obscure.
Crazy how much of a secret it had to be.
I just thought, just go all in. If you go 100%, just don't tell anyone, keep it completely secret, then that should work. But over time, you unfortunately, you know, admin and bureaucracy, you have to start putting your name on things, and that did start to leak out. So that's kind of, that was kind of how it was the beginning of the end.
Well, it's cool coming round here. I feel I saw less of this in the show and more in kind of behind the scenes stuff on YouTube. Sort of Jeremy and James and Richard just having chats out here kind of on smoking breaks and stuff.
That's it. He's made the tea over there. I fought the scouts over there. Yeah. They had that Mad Hatter's tea party out on the grass in front. All these weird and wonderful things. But no, it's amazing watching it grow over the years.
They have talked about bulldozing this to put housing on, but I mean, they've said that for years and there's still jumbo jets sitting on it, so it doesn't look like the Top Gear test track's going anywhere.
I hope not. I mean, that layout's become incredibly well known, but even before we got here, Harrier jump jets were developed at this site. I think before that it had a history for World War II, so there's a lot of, you know, heritage with this place. It would be a real shame to see it go. So I hope it stays what it is. Perfect.
Okay. Well, good finish to day one. It's getting really dark now. Curry?
Curry.
Curry.
Love it.
Morning, Ben.
Morning.
Has that curry come back to bite you? Are you okay?
No, it hasn't bit me yet.
Can't speak for later. Anyway.
Here we are at the pool.
This isn't just any pool.
No.
This is Chippy Lido.
Yeah.
I didn't even know Chippy was short for Chippy Norton, but there you go. Chippy Lido.
Yeah.
The Rolls Royce.
Chili Lido, the Rolls Royce, in it went.
Ramped in.
A little bit, you can tell there's a bit of a kicker.
And the first thing I'm thinking is he's writing off the car and the pool, because should they have to be emptied? But I chatted to a representative from the Lido and they said that that vehicle actually was emptied of all fluids and they had metal rails that it basically just ran up. So I don't know whether they basically knew they were basically killing the car, had no fluids in it, but all it needed to do was a quick sprint.
It's doing a decent speed, so it looked like it was powered.
Yes. That's what I'm saying. So yeah, no fluids, but just one last
so it's on its last legs.
thrash.
Okay, interesting.
But yeah, as a stuntman, a stunt driver, how do you analyse the jump?
Well, the first thing you notice is the front pops up, which they obviously had a kicker in it because the engine's extremely heavy and that's at the front of the car.
Right.
So if you don't do that, the nose will plunge in, the weight will just drag it down,
so
and it would submerge very quickly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they wanted to see it bounce a bit further. So little kick, get the nose up, get the weight up, and then it travelled further. And to me, it looked like it was doing about, I don't know, 18 miles an hour.
Okay, so that's quite a lot for a dive,
which is decent. Because it's a big impact. When you hit the water, it's quite surprising. The water really rushes, hits the windscreen. So there's a big deceleration. And the biggest risk is initially the windscreen will pop.
Right.
And there's an old car.
Force just
force of water. So actually that little kick, it just landed neatly, but still there was a big force of water in it. And I mean, and also just from the camera angles, I mean, to me it looks like Jeremy didn't drive it in. I hate to burst the bubble. But,
here we go.
I mean, well, if he had, it would have been loaded with onboard cameras.
Yes.
We'd have all seen him. He'd have been goofing around doing Clarkson-y stuff.
And he would have to wait for it to equalise, because that's what the safety people always say.
That's the hardest bit. So you either get out immediately, like literally as soon as the car hits water, get out. Or if you start, if it starts sinking, the force of the water on the door is so strong, it just literally pushes it shut. So you have to wait quite calmly as the car sinks, and you have to then obviously hold your breath and get the last bit of air, and then open the door. And actually, if you watch it, it's completely submerged when you get that camera angle. So again, when he jumps into the pool, there's no scuba diver with a camera, and then suddenly the camera's there. So there's a passage of time during which the car is settled. I think so. Probably he's jumped in the pool, got in the car, and then got out for the camera.
That's exactly what our representative said happened. So well done.
Oh, good.
Very nicely dissected.
But it's a brilliant film. It's hilarious.
Well, you've done it yourself recently on your own channel.
Yeah.
You took a Reliant Robin and went in a disgusting pool. I imagine this is quite nice
pretty
when the
manky.
covers
Well,
off.
it doesn't look great now, but yes, it was a pretty filthy pool in a Robin Reliant.
God, I don't want to be involved in that.
I'd like to throw you in a car and sink you.
I will give you 500 quid if you just calmly walk straight towards that camera.
Hold my phone. Get the money out.
Bank transfer.
How far do I have to go? This is far enough, isn't it?
Oh my God, I
Come
knew.
on.
Yeah, calls himself a Hollywood stuntman, can't even walk across a pool.
I don't think they'd like that.
No, we've been told specifically not to do that.
Yeah.
Everyone at home, don't walk across chippy Lido when it's got the cover on. It's very dangerous. They're spring-loaded things. Okay, that's enough.
And the money.
Next location.
I walked calmly.
I'm really excited about this one. It's
Good.
a very nice pop,
Yeah.
actually.
Oh, good.
When you signed up for this shoot, did you think you'd be standing at 8 AM in the morning beside a freezing, closed pool?
Didn't expect it, to be honest, no. But, that was a good little stunt to check out. I like that. It was a good location.
Lido or Lido?
I'd say Lido.
I'd say Lido. Is that
Says a lot about
Scottish
you.
thing?
Maybe.
Chippy Lido. Chippy Lido.
You're struggling now. You went with a little bit Australian even. Right, where's next?
Bidford upon Avon. Ever been there?
No. What's the crack there?
Well, there's a pub called The Bridge. And
Yeah.
I'll be amazed if there's anyone in the comments that can already tell where we're going or what Top Gear special it was. But no, it's a cool one. Involves a van.
Okay.
I'm gonna have a nap. See you in Bidford.
All right.
Whose idea was it to do this in early January?
Yours.
It is
It's
absolutely
freezing. There's no way they did this at the same time of year. They'd have all
No.
frozen.
Welcome to Bidford upon Avon.
Yeah.
That is the River Avon. Hovervan, Top Gear.
Oh, that, yes.
Clarkson and May making a complete arse of themselves on here.
Yeah.
They made it look incredibly difficult. How tricky is it to man a hovercraft?
It's really easy. Yeah, you just point it and then accelerate and go. The only thing that gets difficult is if you don't accelerate, it doesn't turn.
Right.
So you have to gas on. It's like a Sea-Doo. So you have to keep the
that does
motor
sound
going.
quite sketchy though.
Yeah, and you've got no brakes. So if you want to avoid driving into the other bank, you have to turn and power on again. So if you're in motion and you get too close, you will hit it.
Okay.
So it requires forethought, which was never their strong suit.
Well, all I can see and hear when I look at this is a transit van with a motor pike engine howling to keep the fans going and
Yeah.
keep this thing not just sinking in the water. That bit of grass as well, there was a whole lineup of deck chairs and people sitting down having their lunch. But
Yeah.
I gather you found a news article.
I think
that
there were
was all
stunt
fake.
lunches.
Yes.
Exactly. So a bit like the pool, get the stuntman in. Well, I think all these ones were actors, so they were just I think they were just there to have a nice lunch
I
and
guess
get sprayed.
you can't have stuff firing out the back of a hover van at just randomers. And also, you weren't on this because this was after your time.
Was
You
it
left.
after or before?
I've heard. I think it's after.
This, yeah.
You bailed.
This was all them.
You were writing books at that point.
I was out writing a book, sunning in the Caribbean, just chilling.
Yeah.
Relaxing.
Have you done
after
well out of
time.
that book?
It's done pretty well.
Are you a millionaire?
I'm working on it. I'm a £1 coin behind you, which doesn't. What does that amount to?
Well, I'm Scottish, so I'm not going to tell you.
Yeah.
What a rude question.
Well, look, we club in together. We can get an iron brew and drink to good times.
We're 6 locations down,
Yeah.
2 to go.
Yeah.
We're heading further north.
Yeah.
Would you like some lunch?
Yeah.
Okay. Steak pie?
Okay.
Okay. Coffee?
Yeah, I'd like a coffee.
Steak pie and a coffee. Having looked at the locations in our list, I realised that yesterday was quite Stig heavy. Today, not so much, but it's iconic location still. But yeah, I realise, you know, anecdotes from yourself are kind of...
I love it.
few and far
I mean,
between.
I love watching the gags on the show, you know, whether I was in there or not. So it's cool. This is a nice little tour.
Yeah, so we've got 2 locations to go. This one involves a railway, which always gets me going. Are you into trains?
Yep.
Are you that kind of nerd?
Yeah, well, so are we talking steam train?
I think it is actually a heritage line we're going to, yeah.
Oh, well, you'll love this then. You'll get all excited.
Yeah. I just like looking at railway tracks, to be honest.
Cool.
It doesn't even need to be a train on it. It's not my favourite episode, but this is definitely my favourite location so far. This is what I'm all about. Heritage railways.
Right. I thought you might be a train spotter. Actually,
Well,
you've got it. You've got the anorak.
There are actually people in the car
Matching
park.
colour hat. There's people with rovers in the car
There's
park.
people genuinely train spotting behind us right
people
now.
from your tribe. They're here.
But there are petrol heads. If you look in the car park, Renault Sport Clio,
That's a proper
Rover
Renault.
Metro,
Yeah.
and Lexus LS400.
Let's not
V8.
include the Metro. It's not a Metro Turbo.
Anyway, we're talking about the cars turned into trains. So
Oh,
Jeremy
that one.
had
Yeah.
an XJS Jag,
Yeah.
and there was an Audi S8 that James drove.
Yes.
Do you know what? Watching it back, it's so sketchy. Like, Jeremy is going so quickly in that Jag.
Yeah.
I'm expecting it to derail at any moment.
Well, it's a miracle of science. Did you ever meet anyone who put together the vehicles on
No,
Top Gear?
no.
So I don't know who made those. I can only presume that they didn't go to our normal go-to people.
It could have been HMS Engineering, who
Right.
are Richard's neighbours just now.
But presumably that was a serious piece of rail equipment with a car bolted on.
Have you had any experience with trains? I've driven a
Absolutely
steam
none.
train.
Not have you?
Yeah.
What, you mean a little Hornby?
No. Legit. Oh, I could do that all day. I'm obsessed with heritage railways. I'm even more obsessed. Have you gone right up there? Have you seen what's in that top corner?
No.
There's a miniature garden railway. I could sit and stare at that all day. We need to come back here when it's open. Go
Yeah.
for a little steam train ride.
Yeah, I
You up
love
for
it.
that?
It's an amazing, beautiful place. It's a great spot.
Do you mind if I spend 10 minutes looking at that
To the garden.
railway?
Come on.
With Ben thoroughly bored of my train nerding, we fired up the truck to venture up to the Peak District towards arguably the most iconic location of the trip.
We finally made it, our final location.
Yeah.
I love this place.
Well, it's one of the funniest episodes of Top Gear history. Even my mum thinks this is just the best.
Proper iconic.
Best episode.
I reckon this is the episode I've seen most in the reruns on Dave. That slipway there, all I can see and hear is James May going down saying, brace, brace, and then he pulls it off. Like, genuinely impressive. That Triumph Herald just floats.
That worked quite well. Sail power worked quite well, but the Toyota steals the show, obviously.
Yes.
It's got the power.
Yes.
I mean, I think it was, I definitely thought it was going to nosedive much earlier. You watch that film, as it started to bubble over the bonnet, it looked like, because you back off, it'll just sink immediately. He did actually do quite well with it.
The toy boater.
The toy boater.
And it made it, but then, of course, Clarkson had to mess it up.
Yeah.
That roll, you know, you're saying he faked the Rolls Royce into the pool. There's no way he faked that. That looked freezing.
Stuntman, I think, took it into the pool, but that, yes, this was genuine. Obviously, tomfoolery.
Too much
That's
lock.
best. Too much steering, too fast. But I think he knew it was going over.
So you think it was deliberate?
Well,
They were panicking.
He
Him
turned,
and Richard.
but he
were
turned
really-
the prop off, so he did it safely, very well done, and
Oh,
it was.
okay.
I think it was a precision move.
Good point.
It was cool. It was cool.
But yeah, I love this place. It's
Yeah.
beautiful.
No, it's a great place to end.
I'm going to come back here.
Yeah.
I hope you guys have enjoyed watching this video, and maybe you'll go on a Top Gear road trip of your own. And what locations did we miss out this time that we should go on next time? Comment down below. And of course, subscribe to Ben's channel, Ben Collins Drives. Lots of great stuff up there. As I say, your Senna video, absolutely loved it.
Oh, thanks, Mike.
So yeah, hop over there and subscribe to Ben. Okay, so who's going in? Heads or tails?
Let's flip a coin. Here we go.
Tails.
When I wake up early in the morning, and when I got 'em